Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a new video for you guys, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about methods and tips and ways that I cope with my anxiety, and in return hopefully I can help some of you that have anxiety as well. So if you guys want to see what those methods are, then please stay tuned and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. And let's get right into the video. In the past couple of years, mental health has been talked about a lot more, and I could not be more grateful for that because it's just so important. You guys have heard me ramble on about mental health so much, and I feel like in the past I would have loved to have these tips and methods to have helped me. Truly, when you feel stuck, it really feels like there's no way out. So I really wanted to, I wish I could have shared these tips with you guys a lot sooner, but this year has been tough where I had to really put these tips and methods to the test myself. I mean, I've been struggling with anxiety since I was honestly younger, but I had no idea that that's what I was going through until I got older and I learned in hindsight, like, hey, that was this. I'm really good at, I guess, preparing myself for situations that might cause some anxiety for me, or like preventative measures, but once I'm like in straight tunnel vision, that's kind of when I need the most help, and that's when I can't get myself out of it too much. I'm not the best at doing that as of yet, but with my preventative measures and stuff, I've been able to help myself a lot more through that. Another thing I'd like to mention is that I was not actually like medically diagnosed with anxiety. I just know myself, and I've studied psychology, so I understand what I go through, and also it kind of runs in my family, so duh, it wouldn't be a far reach to kind of assume, or not assume, but self-diagnose myself. And I also want to say, obviously I'm not a doctor. There's always a lot more methods. Do your own research. None of the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you guys are things that can possibly harm you or anything like that, but I just want to put that out there, that I don't want you guys to like cling on to every word that I say and take it as Bible, because it's not. I wouldn't suggest doing that with anybody's word. But anyway, I'm gonna just go on right into the tips of anxiety. If you guys want me to talk about my specific journey with it, I can possibly be open to doing that, or I can do a Q&A just specifically dedicated to that stuff. But sometimes honestly talking about it, like my personal experiences, sometimes just give me anxiety just even talking about it. So I'd have to really prepare myself for that video, but I am open to eventually doing that, because I know sometimes another person's experience and stories and stuff is so relatable that you feel like you can actually like get through it and you're not alone. And that's honestly, when it comes to mental health, that is the one thing that you really want to be sure of. Like, am I just bugging, or is this like a thing? Yeah, just let me know in the comments down below if you'd like that kind of video. So the first tip I have is, and the first thing that has helped me, is knowing my triggers. So what causes your anxiety? For me, that has been like plane like flights, that has been a lot of social events. I've gotten anxiety over social events, sometimes just a regular conversation. I get a lot of like social anxiety. Like, I'm not great with, well, I wasn't great. I've actually worked and I'm a lot better now, but I wasn't like growing up and stuff. I wasn't really good with like holding a conversation with people. I'd rather just stay quiet and stay to myself, because okay, so this is the type of conversation that would probably give me anxiety, but I meditated, so I'm good right now. This is an example of what I mean. Like, if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'll be thinking like, ooh, did I say that correctly? Oh my god, was that offensive? Like, after every single word or sentence, it's like I'm not even in the conversation because I'm just focused on like, ugh, was that weird? Or what if they're thinking this? Or it's like my mind is like constantly just like criticizing every little thing that I say or do. So anyways, when I'm having a conversation with somebody, especially like meeting new people, I'll definitely have some anxiety when it comes to that. Or I've had anxiety when it comes to that. Confrontations or like violent situations, like I know it could possibly be violent, or just confrontations in general give me anxiety. I don't like violence, I don't like problems, I don't like any of that stuff. So these are just like examples of what your triggers can be for a lot of people. I mean, it can be anything, honestly. So if you know, the more you know about what actually triggers your anxiety, the better. Like for some people it can be a specific conversation, like, ooh, I don't want to talk about me going back to school, ooh, I don't want to talk about what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, or what's happening with this person or the next, or I don't want to talk about that because that gives me anxiety. So those are just kind of like, you know, examples of triggers, and the more you know about your triggers, the more you can minimize them. So for example, I'll use my flight or plane anxiety for this. So something that has helped me when it comes to flights is knowing the facts, knowing the actual statistics of how safe flying is as compared to being in a car, and things like that, like things that would kind of like minimize the fear. It's just like, you're okay, you're going to be okay. Like, these are the facts. When it comes to like meeting people and having conversations, what I'll do before the event is I will write down what would possibly be the topics of conversation and write down like my answers to them, kind of thing. So it's like a rehearsed conversation where I'm not necessarily saying like remembering everything that I would say my answer is, but I would at least have an idea so that I don't freak out so much and be like, okay, no, that's like, I don't know what to say, or I'm socially awkward and people might not like me, and it's just like a whole bunch of stuff that goes on when it comes to those kinds of situations. And I know it may sound crazy, but you guys, you have to do whatever's best for yourself and whatever's gonna make you feel more comfortable, because nobody's gonna experience your feelings. Like, nobody's gonna have the anxiety for you. Like, if you can take my anxiety for me, then you can judge me, but you can't take it from me. So if doing this makes me feel better, then that's just what I'm gonna do. The more you know your triggers and are able to minimize it, the better you'll be when it comes to handling and preventing having a full-blown like panic attack because of your anxiety. The second one is knowing the symptoms before you have like the full-blown like panic attack. For me, I think a lot of the symptoms kind of are similar across the board. So for me, what I start doing is I start fidgeting a little bit. So I'll start like doing some weird stuff like with my hands like this, and I'll realize it, or I'll just keep tugging at something. Like sometimes it's my bag or my phone. Like having my phone in my hand, it does a lot of, it just comforts me in a way, because I just keep clicking like the button and I'll just put it down, or I'll just like flip it around in my, like, it's just I get really fidgety. So I know that once I start fidgeting, that is like, okay, I'm having a little bit of anxiety, or my heart starts beating a little bit faster, or I start breathing a lot faster. Once I start breathing a little bit faster, then I'm like, okay, I need to calm down before I get towards like this full, because I'm trying to prevent the attack kind of thing. I'm trying to prevent myself from really going into full-blown tunnel vision. Yeah, so just knowing the symptoms really helps me, because then I'm able to attempt to calm myself down before it gets really, really bad and I kind of lose all control. So knowing the symptoms is definitely a great method. So after you already know your triggers and you know your symptoms, my next best tip is to start deepening your breath as best as you can. Yoga and meditation has definitely helped me a lot with knowing my breath and knowing that it's just there. Kind of being aware of how it feels to breathe very deeply and calmly versus like when I'm just way out of whack. So this tip is basically to breathe in for 4 counts, hold it at the top, and then for 4 counts, and then breathe out for 4 counts. It's just basically deepening your breath. If you can, do like 6 counts and then 8 counts, but really just breathing, and like breathing does a lot for people who have anxiety, because that is one of the biggest symptoms that can kind of get you lightheaded and you can pass out from those kinds of things. So it's very, very important to try to deepen your breath when you have anxiety, either before, after, during, or just on a regular day basis. Try to focus on your breath as much as you can. So I'm gonna say this is my 4th tip, but it's kind of like going along the lines of my last tip, which is focusing on your breath. A breathing technique that I've learned, or a method that I've learned, I think it's called alternate nostril breathing. I'm not gonna do it too much right now, but you can use like any finger. You can use this, or you can use your, like sometimes your middle finger and your thumb is like the best ones ones to do it with. So if I'm holding this nostril, then I'm only breathing out this nostril. I'm holding it down and I'm breathing in for 4 counts, and then I'm gonna hold it for 4 counts and then switch to this one and breathe out for 4 counts. I hope that makes sense, but it's just alternate nostril breathing. There are plenty of videos and articles and stuff that explains that a lot deeper, but just kind of alternating, you're focusing on your breath and it's kind of tricking your mind to automatically focus on your breath versus like just trying to do it on your own. Like doing the alternate nostril is really going to help you focus and take your mind off of whatever is causing your anxiety. So that is something that has actually helped me, and that is one of the things that has helped me when I am in the middle of having anxiety versus like trying to prevent anxiety. So I definitely do recommend that tip, obviously, because it's on my list. Another one that I'm not too good at, but it's definitely a contribution, is caffeine. Cutting down on caffeine, whether it's sodas, chocolate, whatever, just cutting down on caffeine. So for me, that's coffee. Most mornings I still drink coffee, but if I have something planned within an hour or two of me waking up and I already have some sort of like anxiety for it, for example, when I had my road test, oh my gosh, I had really bad anxiety that morning. So I didn't drink coffee that morning and I had to wake up really early, but I was just like, no coffee. Like, you have to listen to your body. If your body is already in a state of like excitement, and it's not like the good excitement, is the one that kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna freak out, you have to like know that you cannot drink coffee or caffeine. Along those lines, a tea that has really helped me calm down my nerves is chamomile tea. Like, chamomile tea is really life. It really does just calm your nerves and just relax your body for you, and it's natural. So I would definitely recommend having some chamomile tea, especially before bed. Sometimes anxiety can affect your sleep. Like for me, it has definitely affected my sleep. Like, I'll just be sleeping and then all of a sudden wake up with my heart racing and I'm having like a random panic attack in the middle of the night, which sucks so bad. But if I drink chamomile tea before bed, that has helped me get better sleep and also just kind of calm my body down a lot. Or CBD, but a lot of people are kind of wary of trying CBD, so chamomile tea is completely natural, and it's just a tea. And yeah. So my 6th tip is meditation. You guys have heard me talk about meditation a lot before, but meditation is honestly the best way to just calm your heart in so many, calm your body, calm everything, like just kind of connect. And it does so much for you mentally that honestly, a lot of the things that we tend to have anxiety over is just like not even in front of us, it's not even real. And so meditation really does a great job at kind of like honing into, life is so much bigger than what's going on in your head right now. We can get through this kind of thing. Like, you'll feel a great sense of relief. So many people can't quite get into meditation, and I was like that too. A couple years ago, I was just like, I just don't think it's for me. But really, if you just show up, like, that's the best thing that you can do. Even if you spend, let's say you dedicate 5 minutes to meditation, and those 5 minutes you really could not get out of your head, and you really just, your mind just kept jumping from thought to thought, then just focus on the fact that you at least showed up for yourself. Put the time aside to at least try to meditate. I definitely recommend starting with 5 minutes and kind of building up to, let's say, 30 to an hour of meditation. But definitely just start with 5 minutes every morning or before bed. Anytime that you need it, just give yourself like those 5 minutes to just focus on your breath. And sometimes guided meditations, especially if you're just starting to meditate, guided meditations work the best. There are a bunch of great guided meditations on YouTube. I can possibly link some of my favorites in the description box below, so be sure to check it out if you want to. Yeah, meditation just helps you know that your breath is always with you, and alongside yoga, whenever you start to freak out about something, you can take that deep breath and kind of go to that place that you felt while you were meditating. That's something that's definitely done so much for me. So this is my last tip. This is my 7th tip, and my last tip is just to know yourself and spend a lot of time with yourself. In the moments when you have straight tunnel vision and you're feeling very panicky and you're having anxiety, there's very little that outside people can do for you because you are in your head, and no matter what anybody says to you, like, especially in those moments, is kind of just flying right by you. Like, you hear them, but you can't listen. Like, you can't actively listen because you're so in your head. So you have to know yourself. You have to know your triggers. You have to know how you would react if this were to happen, or this or that. The more time you spend with yourself, the better you are at helping yourself in those moments. And I am a true example of that, because the more time I got to spend with myself, the better I felt about everything, and the better I felt prepared to handle and take care of myself. Nobody can kind of just go in there and take you out of your head for you. Like, you have to take your own self out of your mind, and you have to know how your mind works. You have to know, like, if I turn this way, this is what I'm gonna think. If I walk towards the left, this is what my brain is gonna do. Like, I don't know, just like little things like that will help you go a long way when it comes to these kinds of situations. Definitely recommend just really spending more time with yourself, even if it is just like working out, or in the morning taking some time to drink your tea and kind of just think about, what am I thinking about right now? Or, you guys, I'm a huge advocate for journaling. Journaling has done so much, because it's literally getting your thoughts out on paper, and it's emptying the load a little bit for you. And when you have anxiety, your mind is just jumping from thought to thought, honestly, and it's very, very, very draining. So it's important to kind of, in any way that you possibly can, just dump that load, whether that's working out, going for a walk, or doing puzzles, like anything that really helps you. Just make sure that that thing can be fruitful in some way for you. And most of all, you guys, just be gentle with yourself and understand that everything that you're experiencing, or that you have experienced, you're not alone. Like, there's billions of people in this world, so somebody somewhere has experienced the same thing that you have. And the more you remind yourself of that, the better you'll feel, because you won't feel as lonely. And that tends to happen when you have like anxiety or something, because a lot of people are saying, but like, what are you anxious over? Like, what do you mean? Like, what? How does that scare you? Or why do you even, it's just so many, like, a lot of people don't understand. And I'm a firm believer that I'm sure that everybody has experienced at least a slight form of anxiety in their lives, whether even if it's your adrenaline pumping because you're about to get on a crazy roller coaster ride or anything like that. I'm sure you have experienced it, but you just didn't know that that's what it was. So be gentle with yourself and be kind to others, because again, you have no idea what someone is experiencing in their mind. Like, you can be having a conversation with somebody and they're very much present, but at the same time, they're really not. They're just in their head, because I've done that a lot, and I've talked to people that I've noticed kind of was in their head. So you just have to be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself. You're only human. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my methods and little stories and stuff about anxiety, and I hope that it helps those of you who do struggle with having anxiety. It's not easy, it's not fun, it's not ideal, but it's a part of life, and you'll get through it. It's just your struggle. Everybody has their struggles. Everybody has their own things that they have to kind of go through. So if this is your part of your struggle, just be patient with yourself and you'll get through it. If you guys like this video, then let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to do more videos like this if you guys really truly enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!